Whom, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Tuesday. And I'm going to start working a little bit more with the archangels and angels and celestial beings as they guide me and help me through um, this. I guess you can call it. It's a new path into simple astrology. It's just very simple astrology. It's what I use to um, tell you, well, these are things that are happening, and this is how you move them out of the way so you can continue your movement forward, because that is, oh, that's my dog. That is how we use astrology to help us through. I mean, kingdoms won wars, countless of wars, uh, listening to their astrologers and what they had to say as far as what the stars were aligning for. So this is just one of those things that I'm trying to give you guys. Now, yesterday I witnessed exactly what we talked about. Um, Yesterday was one of those days. Of course, it's Monday, right? And people are like, "Oh my God, Monday!" But there was the rising emotional tensions, and with the squaring, it's great with Mars, uh, with a while Leo was squaring Mars in the house of Taurus. You know, there was this tension. There was tension and you're going to see it in a lot of your groups. Um, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm hoping that you guys heard the message and you guys gave yourself the space not to fall into that, and opened yourselves up to understand why the tension was happening and the lesson that we learned throughout that um, that energy, which was perfect. Because if you think about it, it had to happen. And when things like that happen, the lesson is inside. So we always need to be aware. That's why I always tell you guys, be in the today, be now, be here now, so you can get the message and prepare for your future. Today, and I'm going to put an affirmation, which an affirmation for me is, it is a mantra. And I want you to understand that today, the little things that come to fruition, the little things that are being shown to you, the little things that you are witnessing, those little things in life are the ones that carry the message that will either amplify your success or amplify the need for you to reevaluate. Notice that I say success versus the need to reevaluate, because that's important to understand that you don't fail. Nothing is either right or wrong as we go through this life. And there certainly is no failure, because within what we believe is failure. Nico, come here. You want to say hi? What we believe is failure, for one, is actually something good for another, or a learning experience for another. We should be the ones going through the learning experience and accepting the learning experience. So if at this point, you start seeing that these little things are actually the ones making other things successful or other things happen where we need to sit back and reevaluate our choices, this is it. This is the one. These are the little things today that make you sit back and reflect. So, is there something good about today? Absolutely, there's something good about today. Today, we're actually going to be given the opportunity with little things that are going to happen throughout the day where we're going to be able to say, yay! Or, how could I have done this better? Again, there's no such thing as failure. Failure has changed and evolved into a position or a time in the 3D world or a moment in time where you can sit and reevaluate, because every morning is a new start to something that you may have not gotten to the day before. All right, so as I look at this stuff, all these triangles and squarings and all of this, I wish I could show you guys because it's really, really cool. Once you take the mysticism out of the way and you bring in the scientific side of it, then that's where you're like, ooh, again. I always thought that I'd fail at astrology, and I did, because it just wouldn't come through. And then I took the scientific approach. I was given that, at least, and I'm so thankful for that. And now I can see with all these shapes and movements as I move the moon and all the because I have a little toggle that I can move. And so many things just pop in my head. All right. So what we're looking here, well, Pluto today, early in the morning, for us, it will be about 8:30, 8:40, 8:45 in the morning, because I have not still learned to get it to that point that I want, the seconds. Because with astrology, you can do that. It's telling me some of you might be getting the opportunity of investing, perhaps investing in your life, investing in your home, investing, anything that has to do with investing time and money, whether it's a relationship or, oh my goodness, anything that you would invest time and money with. Really, really look at it a couple of times, ask other people's opinions. Um, because what you want to do is you want to be a step ahead of perhaps someone that's coming to you, or maybe it's a new job opportunity. Be a step ahead. Work towards being one step ahead. If you're going for a job interview, or you have been given a job, or you're almost there to get the job, learn about the business, do your homework, do more about what it is that you're going to immerse yourself in when you finally get that job. Same thing if you're buying a home. Do your homework, do your home paperwork. Anything that has to do with paperwork and money and time that you're going to be investing, go ahead and do that. There's going to be, and especially today, and it is a continuance of what happened yesterday, with all the tension and all the drama, because there was drama, and not only, and it was in a lot of groups, and it was in a lot of lives. Listen, guys, we're drowning in one area of our nation. We've got all this drama with politics. We've got all this drama with sickness and the flu again, and storms again, and I don't know what happened with that hedgehog or whatever, the groundhog, but I don't know what he was on, but it's cool again today. I'm like, really? I want to be in the pool a little bit, get my exercise going. Now I have to do that darned thing behind me called the treadmill. Ugh. But anyway, because all that has actually input some energies into us and into the atmosphere, into the collective of frequencies, um, you are going to be so intrigued. You are going to be, since if you didn't fall in the trap yesterday, or you finally got out of the trap and you're feeling better and you're like, okay, I make my decision. This is how I'm going to keep working. I learned my lesson. I did this, I did that. Boom. You are going to be then now faced with intrigue. It's just the same thing wrapped up in a little more fancy paperwork. It's still the same minutia from yesterday. So don't let it get to you. Don't let that pull you back into the frequencies of yesterday, because that is just the past. That is a way that life takes us back into the past. Ego brings us back into the past so we can go into that hamster wheel and remember everything that happened yesterday. Well, things that happened yesterday brings things from your past, then those things add on to the speed of your hamster wheel, because there's more weight brought into your hamster wheel. And the hamster wheel, there should be none. So that is probably is going to happen. At this point, the best thing for you, at this point, for you, see, this is the thing that Neptune, and especially in relationships, this might hurt your relationships. Not only your love relationships, your romance, but work relationships. Relationships with you, with yourself, with the journey, because you and your journey have a relationship as you go through your journey. So it could tag any type of relationship that you have, business relationships, all that. Don't fall into it. It's the same thing as yesterday, the same minutia as yesterday, except it's just wrapped up in a different wrapping, so that it looks different, and it intrigues you as to, oh, what could this be? And there you go. You're going to fall right into it, because then it catapults. It's like, oh, it's a snowball effect, and you don't want to be part of that. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is this incredible major astral zodiacal turning point tomorrow. The actual equinox, I mean, I can see it right here. It's actually almost to the hair going to coincide with a powerful full moon. Now, what that means is there's a lot of shift, a lot of changes, and that's part of all this minutia that's coming up. But it's also part of a lot of people coming down with body pains, sudden illnesses, all that stuff. It's like, think of a magnet. Now, we are in an electromagnetic environment. Well, think of a magnet. You remember those little square games where they had a guy with a face and a big nose, and then it had all these little metallic shavings, and you had a magnet, and you would, color it in or picture it in, pick it up, pick the little magnet pieces and put a mustache or give it a beard, or wherever you would hit it. Well, that's the same thing that happens when all these astrological phenomenons are happening, right? I call them phenomenons because it's just too beautiful not to see it with new eyes all the time. So this is exactly what happens with astrology. It's like a magnet, and then it comes down and it pulls emotions, situations, feelings, time, space. And we're the ones that are sitting there going, take me, Calgon, take me away. When we really should be grounding. So no matter what magnet is going to try to pull us away from what it is we're supposed to be doing or redirecting us, that's where we make the choices. Yeah, magnet, go ahead. I need to win the lotto so that I could do this full time. Or no, I am not going to partake in the minutia that we had yesterday. I got better things to do. All right. Now, just know that all this stuff that's happening, it is part of the equinox. It is part of the full moon. It is partly because of these solar flares that have been happening. It's just this parade of astrological situations that we cannot allow to influence our lives in a negative fashion. Instead, if you know that these little things, I'm letting you know ahead of time before the day begins, the little things that you're going to see today are either going to magnify your success or magnify the need for you to reevaluate. So today you have been armored with expectations and understanding and an arsenal of tools that is going to make your life today better. Are you going to fall and wallow in your failure? Is failure still in your vocabulary? Because if it is, then that is something you're going to need to sit back and reevaluate as to why. Why am I thinking this? Why am I feeling this? Why am I allowing this to be in my body, mind, and soul? And this is the opportunity to reevaluate. The other thing is getting back into the illusions that, intrigue, the same thing as last day, where it's just packaged in a different way. We need to know. I'm telling you now, it is the same thing as you had yesterday. So if you had a bad day yesterday and it comes back again all wrapped up in a different packaging, it's the same energy. It may disguise itself as something else, but it is the same energy nonetheless. So you have now been armored with what today might bring and how you're going to work it. And at the same time, while you're becoming this warrior and learning how to handle these issues today, you are also preparing yourself for this beautiful collision of the equinox, the full moon, these solar flares, all these things. You are taking care of yourself in a way that you are able to handle today and tomorrow. I bid you a hum, and I would love your comments. Tell me if this is, if what I said yesterday coincided with what happened. I saw it in my, it happened to me. So I saw it and I was ready. And that's what I want you guys to be. I want you to be ready. And then tell me what you feel today brought you based on the information that I've given you. I'm just showing you a different route of help that you're going to need. And I know that it'll work. So I hope you have a beautiful day and enjoy it.